Hey guys! I'm here today talking about lots of fun stuff leading up to the launch on Tuesday, which is kind of a surprise. I've been giving little hints along the way, but for the most part it's a surprise. Had an awesome photo shoot yesterday with Paloma Garcia-Lee and Courtney Reed and Adam Jepson, and our lovely photographer was Jacob Smith, and we had so much fun, and so I can't wait to share the photos and all of it with you on Tuesday. I wanted to do some fun things leading up to the launch with Fit for Broadway. One of them is the My Fit for Broadway story, which I'm loving your submissions. They are amazing. So if you haven't submitted and you want to, you can submit up until midnight on Sunday. But the submissions that I've been getting have been awesome, and I've been loving reading them. So I wanted to highlight some fun things, and today I want to highlight a question that I get asked a lot, which is, why did I start Fit for Broadway and where did it all come about? And I realized that I don't really have that story on my blog anywhere, so I thought it'd be fun to do a video, a vlog entry about why I started Fit for Broadway. So I'll catch you up on my background and everything leading up to when I started Fit for Broadway, which was that I grew up being a singer and I went to undergrad for classical voice and was really interested in both musical theater and opera. And in undergrad I kind of focused more on opera, and then after I graduated I ended up transitioning completely into musical theater and just diving right into that world and was loving it. And around the same time I was really diving into my fitness and health as well. I've always been really interested in fitness and health from a super young age, and always just loved to kind of figure out how different fitness methods made my body feel and how different things that I ate made my body feel, and I like to take a really holistic approach to health, so I think it's important to also focus on the mind and the spirit, and I think that's something I try and highlight on my blog because I think it's really important. So I was diving into mind-body wellness around the same time that I was diving into musical theater, and so right now it's a year and a few months ago, a year and I think 3 months ago, I started developing the idea for Fit for Broadway. Because the year before I moved to New York, I was always looking for inspiration online and information online about what it was like to be on Broadway, and I couldn't really ever find really raw advice from performers. I could always find, what shows they had been in and what they were amazing at, which was really cool. And, YouTube videos about their performances or on their performances. And I just really felt like I had such a hunger for more information about what it was like to be on Broadway. And it was, something I was trying to understand a little bit more as I entered into it, and really dive into, the question of, how do they do what they do? And everyone's kind of looking for the answer, like, how do I get on Broadway? And I think through my blog I've realized that there's not really one answer to that, but I think I was just really needing some guidance, and I couldn't really find it online, especially because before I moved to New York I wasn't able to be a part of the community yet. I really had to just use online resources or friends who had been in New York and learn from that so that I could figure out, how I was going to do all that. So I, a year and a half ago, started developing this idea about maybe starting a blog that would focus on my favorite things, which were Broadway, health, and fitness. And I wanted to make it really educational and kind of some tips and tricks about how I incorporated fitness and health into my life. And originally it was going to be called A Singer's Guide to Wellness. But I also loved the idea of calling it Fit for Broadway, because I thought, there's a lot of ways that you can be fit for something, and I use the word fit in kind of a general sense, so it's not necessarily like your body fit, it's just like what makes you able to be on Broadway. That's kind of the story behind the name. And so I started developing it, and at the time I was doing a musical theater intensive with Christine Bendel. She was my dance instructor during the week, and she is amazing. She is super fierce, and she was somebody who inspired me a lot early on. And I just remember watching her and just feeling really inspired by the way that she lived her life in general. I mean, obviously I'm inspired by her as a performer. It's like when you watch her as she dance, it's just like so overwhelming. She just is like, exudes this confidence, but this like grace and vulnerability, and it's just like amazing. But I also was really inspired by the way she lived her life, because I knew that she was really, really focused on fitness, and I also knew she was vegan, and I was just really interested in the fact that I thought that there was like a really beautiful picture to be painted kind of on how she lived her life to be a performer in New York. So I sat down with her and I interviewed her over dinner one night, and it was just one of those moments where I just remember feeling like really, really excited about the information that she was giving me, and I felt like it was exactly what I wanted to know before I moved to New York. And so I ended up putting together an interview, and we took some fun pictures, and I ended up ordering these shirts that said "Fit for Broadway," which are now all over my blog. But for her, I just ordered one, and I was like, can you wear this shirt? I think it'll be fun to kind of show like the colors and show the message of what I want my blog to be. And so we ended up taking some photos and putting together the interview, and it was just a moment where I really realized how valuable it was to cultivate a lot of information about these things, fitness, health, and Broadway, that weren't just from my vantage point. Because at that point I couldn't give the kind of information that she could give, being so established in the community that she had been for so long. And so I just really felt like the features could add a really amazing element of education on the blog, of just kind of this advice and inspiration that performers can give based on their journeys. And all of them look very, very different, which is like one of my favorite parts of the blog, is that I feel like everyone's journey is really different, and as much as we try and kind of find the formula to success of getting on Broadway, it's really individual. And so so I started diving into all of that, and one feature led to another, I think it's really fun to weave this tapestry of stories from Broadway performers, and also weave in my own story as kind of this narrator of it all. And that's kind of the vision behind Fit for Broadway, is just this like beautiful tapestry of a bunch of inspiration and advice and experience for aspiring performers. And it was something that I wish I could have seen before I moved to New York, and kind of I wish that it would have helped guide me. And so I try and always think of what I needed before I moved to New York, and mold the blog based on that. Another element of the blog that I love is the events in New York, because as I know, a lot of aspiring performers are outside of New York and planning on coming to the city or planning on establishing themselves somewhere else. I also know that the community here, I wanted to really tap into how we could kind of support each other a little bit more, because when I was an aspiring performer, I just remember feeling a little overwhelmed in the audition room, and you're in there and you're trying to make friends because you're new to the city, but everyone's energy is heightened and nervous, and it's kind of hard to make friends in that environment, in my opinion. I have made friends in the audition room, but it's just sometimes kind of hard. And so I thought I want to create some events where we can all come together, aspiring performers and Broadway performers, and we can just feel really supported by each other, and kind of feed off of each other's positive energy, and just really have a place where outside of the audition room or outside of our rehearsals, where we could feel really, really great. And what better way to do that than working out and feeling good and kind of getting those endorphins. And so I planned a few events in the beginning that were at Peloton, and that was really fun. And so we all came together and rode, and it was really fun. And a few months ago, I planned an event with one of my best friends, Mari Relin, of Body Conceptions. It's a dance cardio fitness method, and I planned an event with her and with the Broadway cast of Cinderella, and Christine Mindel came to speak at it, as did Laura Osnes and Paige Foray, and it was just a night where we could come together and inspire each other and feel really supported, and I got a lot of good feedback that it did that, so that was good. And so I wanted Fit for Broadway to take also to take on a community in New York where I could feel like that support. You know, so building the support online, which is great, and I want Fit for Broadway blog to be a place where people can come and also feel supported and interact with each other and interact with me, and you know, make really great connections, but also in New York build that community so that we can physically support each other together. So that's been really fun. I have some big plans for fall, which will be great. After this launch, I'm going to dive into events for fall, so we'll have some good ones coming up. So that is the story of Fit for Broadway in as condensed version as I can. I'm happy to take extra questions. You can comment at the top of this post and click comments, and you can ask me anything. You can also shoot me an email at jane@fitforbroadway.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I love when you suggest features that you want to see, either people or information that you want on the blog. Like I had a reader the other day, Brandon. Hey Brandon. He's awesome, and he asked me to make a Spotify playlist, a Fit for Broadway Spotify playlist, and so I did that, and I got a lot of good feedback from that, and it was, a lot of readers were super excited. So I find that when I get requests from readers that it's actually what the content I should be producing on my blog rather than the stuff I just think up in my head. So if you have any suggestions, I'm happy to take them, and yeah, I'm so excited for Tuesday. It's gonna be amazing. And tomorrow I think I'm gonna be talking about on the blog. Maybe I'll do another vlog, depending on if you like this, or I'll do a write-up about what inspired this project, which is a lot. So that'll be tomorrow, and then on Monday I'm gonna be publishing the winner of my Fit for Broadway story, which I don't even know how I'm gonna choose because they're all so amazing. But yeah, that'll be happening Monday, and then Tuesday will be the launch. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.